damage over time effects have always made up a decent amount of Tweyen's damage, but in Endless Ragnarok, there's a funny build that lets you take this to the next level. The main benefit of dots is that they bypass all enemy damage reduction, meaning that they'll deal full damage during overdrive and even bloodthirst. They deal a flat amount of damage based on the attack shown in your stat screen, and are unaffected by any buffs or debuffs that apply afterward. This is a double-edged sword, as it means powerful boss gimmicks such as the damage jump in the world or supplemental damage in Raham and Versa won't benefit this damage. So how does this build work? At a baseline, Tweyen has two sources of dots: Depravity as well as random procs on basic attacks from her Warpath Sigil. The main drawback is that Depravity has a prohibitively long cooldown, but her Clincher master trait line fixes this, while also adding a poison to lethal rain. The TLDR of this build is that as you apply debuffs, you will gain stacks of enhanced Clincher. When this reaches 8 stacks, Clincher's cooldown is reset, and using it will then give it a chance to reset a different damage skill's cooldown, excluding 2 Crown Strife. Before we move on, Clincher, Depravity, and Lethal Rain are all mandatory for this build. For the last slot, 2 Crown Strife is an exceptionally powerful skill that significantly extends any debuffs active on the boss, but it can be punishing to use, as you only get one shot at it, and the warm-up timer resets if you enter critical state. Regulate is a safe option, and Valiant Weave and Wheel of Death are technically options as well, as they gain additional debuffs that can help your team, but they won't really be that useful for yourself. Back to the gameplay priorities. You want to put on your dots with both Lethal Rain and Depravity before spamming basic attacks in order to get extra dots and Clincher stacks from random Warpath procs. Don't bother charging any of these, as Warpath's description is kinda scuffed. Uncharged autos can proc the debuffs all the same. When you get 8 stacks, click Clincher, and if you hit any resets, use the respective skill if you need to reapply its dots. Even though we aren't building around it, Multi-Lock Hail still does a respectable amount of damage, so don't forget to use that whenever you get to maximum Ultrasight level. If running 2 Crown Strife, it is worth aligning the dots from your skills prior to the planned use time, while also trying to sneak in your Warpath dots if possible. The best time to land this extension is right before a long intermission, though note that certain boss phases, such as Beelzebub's stun shield phases, will wipe all debuffs, so plan around that accordingly. During link time, time is slowed for your dots as well, so just play this like a normal Tweyen and spam Multi-Lock Hail. You can dodge cancel this, or cancel it with Lethal Rain, but make sure to not load up a new Multi-Lock Hail too soon after casting one, as that prevents the rest of the arrows from spawning. Let's look at an endgame build. The important sigils here are those that buff your attack on the stat page. We'll use Glass Cannon on your weapon, 2 Tyranny sigils, and Fate Breaker. For utility slots, quick cooldown can be taken to pad out those unlucky streaks where you just don't hit resets, while also being very useful for Regulate. Tweyen's cascade values are quite low, so it's not a high priority. For defensive options, Flight over Fight can be used. In Endless Ragnarok, this no longer nerfs our attack, but instead gives a damage debuff when perfect dodging, which doesn't affect our dot at all. Now, if you're looking to hit some really funny dot numbers, there's one last sigil that can buff it: Berserker. This comes at the very hefty cost of removing your ability to dodge or block, leaving you extremely vulnerable, but it lets you hit some unworldly numbers. Here are the masteries we'll be running. Make sure to get all attack percent nodes, as these affect our dot. Other than that, grab generic damage caps and quota reduction in relevant skills. On your summon stats, you'll specifically want Flat Attack as a secondary stat. Note that the maximum attack you need is 666k on the stat screen. This would hit the attack cap of 999999 with Fate Breaker. This cap is currently only achievable when running Berserker. That's it for this quick build guide. Make sure to send lots of love to the danchous that suffer in your stead when you decide to run Berserker for the big funny numbers. See you guys next time. Bye bye!